So what is mastering, and why is it so important nowadays? In the streaming era, we have different platforms streaming at different bit rates. When you upload your file, it actually gets compressed, right? We're actually streaming at a certain bit rate. Actually, a lot of the times less quality than an MP3. I know, you spend all this time, spend all this energy making this amazing song. You got this WAV file that's at 96K, 32-bit. Floating point, right? And you upload it and it gets streamed and compressed on an algorithm that's going to dumb it down to an MP3 quality file. Now, there are obviously different DSPs, right, that do different things. And that's why this is so important to understand about mastering, is that the DSPs are all different. So Tidal has a higher quality that you can actually pay more for a subscription, where it'll stream it at a higher bit rate, which you get more quality out of. What does this mean for mastering? You got Apple Music AC3 has a compression algorithm where it's different than Spotify's algorithm. Spotify actually has an algorithm where it turns up or down so that it can match a median of a level. So you have some masters that are mastered really hot and hard and they're getting hit really hard, and they get uploaded to Spotify, and Spotify turns them down, which in turn can make your master sound really small, because sometimes people master their record and they think this sounds incredible, and it's really just because it's super loud, right? So you're listening on your speakers, your NS10s, HS5s, HS8s, your KRK Rockets, maybe you got some focals like these in the back, but you're tricking your mind because louder always sounds better. So what is mastering, and why are we getting into this course? Because mastering is the last final step after the mix, and sometimes you master while you mix, right? You can mix into your master. But the most important aspect of mastering is translation. And mastering, the definition of it is to have the final product for the final output medium, okay? So you could be mastering for vinyl, right? That's a certain master copy that's going to be printed onto a piece of vinyl, a vinyl record. That's then being copied, and that's the master copy. So then they're duplicating from that master copy. So the same thing with your file now is that you have this master copy, and it's being duplicated to all these DSPs. It's being duplicated onto Spotify, onto Apple Music, onto Tidal, onto Napster, onto Pandora Internet Radio, and they're all streaming at different bit rates with different compression algorithms. So after you've mastered your final product, you really want it to translate across all these platforms. You may have it sounding really good on Apple Music, but it sounds like crap on Spotify. And you really don't want that, because you have different fans and different people that you can reach on these different platforms. And they're all huge platforms worth billions of dollars. So you got an opportunity here to make your music sound great across all platforms. And that's really truly what we're going to talk about in this course, is mastering for every single platform and making it sound good everywhere. Now, there are some really, really important parts of mastering that are very technical, but mostly it's an art form. And we want to talk about the art form. We want to talk about how you can find those little peaky frequencies that are going to stick out and get compressed really hard by the algorithms from when you upload to Instagram, and it just crushes everything, right? And then you got this distorted piece of, excuse my language, but shit, right? It turns into this bogged down piece of garbage. It's distorted in a way that you didn't intend. You spent hours and hours and hours, maybe weeks, months on these records and these songs, and recorded them and mixed them and mastered them, right? And you're thinking to yourself, why is it not working on Instagram? Why is it sounding so crappy on Instagram? Why is Spotify turned my stuff down? And why does it sound quieter than even these records that aren't mastered as loud, as hot as mine? So this is an important aspect of mastering, but overall, the theory of mastering and why we're doing it is to make the final touches, the final gloss on a great mix, or maybe to mix into your mastering chain and find a way for every time you make a record for it to translate across every single medium, sound huge, have that huge sub in it, still have tons of kicks, still have tons of punch, still tons of drive and depth and width and crispy vocals, but not too crispy. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to talk about. And this is module 2. I just wanted to break down a little bit of what mastering is, and hopefully that kind of helps explain it. But let's get into the nuts and bolts. Let's get into mastering for real.